Hello, everyone. Let's do a little Thanksgiving practice, rest and digest today. So, this practice is perfect for really any time. It's a little quieter, it's a little more relaxing. I'm going to wear my socks the whole time. I'm going to bundle up a little bit so I stay warm. So, you're just going to need, I have a yoga blanket, but if you have a towel that you could roll up, a big bath towel or a small blanket. And if you have a yoga block, great. If not, no worries. But just grab a towel, a blanket, a pillow, something that we can use. And we'll get comfortable, we'll move, we'll breathe. Okay, we're on our mat. I have a rolled up yoga blanket just into a long sort of roll that I can grab onto. So see if you can find something similar in your house. We're just going to use this for a few things today. So first off, I want you to just lift that blanket up overhead and then maybe even slightly behind you, pull on the blanket a little bit, lift your chest, and then round your back and pull that blanket towards your knees, like a little standing cat cow. Inhale, open up, lift your chest, look up towards the blanket. Exhale, round the back. Do it again. Inhale, lift up, feel your feet on the floor. Make it nice and easy. Exhale. Nothing too crazy today, right? This is a nice practice. Inhale to use to sort of digest and rest. When you're feeling tired, you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling cranky or creaky in the body. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Good. Lift that blanket up, and it can be in front of you. Pull apart on it a little bit. And we're just going to go any amount side to side. Have your feet underneath you so you feel supported and secure. Bend your knees a little bit. And just using the weight of the towel or the blanket or whatever you're using to help move into the side waist a little bit, the shoulders. Just letting the breath move, sway a little bit side to side. Good. And then we're going to stay on one side. And then I'm going to take the opposite, so the arm that's high in the air, I'm going to take that opposite leg and step it back behind and press both feet down and side bend a little more. Just let the head drape. Breathe into that side hip, side waist, shoulder, and come up. And maybe bring the arms down and rest. Lift up. And we're going to side bend to the other side. And just pause there. See if you can take these side ribs that you're exposing and send your breath there. And then option the arm that's higher in the air, that leg, that side leg, you're going to step it behind the other. Step it out. Press both feet firmly down. Squeeze your tail underneath you. Breathe. Pull the blanket or the towel apart. And come up. And release. Let's just do that one more time each side. Lift up, inhale. Exhale, side bend. And then you could stay with both feet here and just play with coming in and out of it, or step that foot back and through. Draw your tail underneath you. Stamp your feet. Breathe into the side. Inhale. Exhale, come on up. Relax the arms. One more time. Reach up. Side bend, second side. Last time. You can stay with your feet underneath you and just play with that side bend, or option to step the foot through, getting a little more of the outer hip as well. Draw the tail underneath you, pull the blanket apart. Inhale. Exhale. And come up. And release. Good. Just roll the shoulders a few times. Let go of any tension that you may have incurred, pulling that over your head and your shoulders. Good. We're going to take it, we're going to hook this blanket, towel, whatever you're using, behind the base of the skull, right underneath the base of the skull and supporting the neck. Pull the elbows wide, and I'm pulling apart on it so it's taut. I'm just laying my head back to look up. And then release to center. And just do that 2 more times. Just opening up the chest. Let the head lay back into the support of the blanket. And release. 1 more time. Open up. Letting that blanket be like a hammock for the head. And release. Good. One last thing, standing with our little towel or blanket. We're going to take a little cross body sort of chop, a little twisting motion. So feet underneath us. Soften your knees. Inhale, take it up and over to the side. And then you're going to gently bring it across like you're chopping. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Couple more. Inhale, just moving the torso, the ribs. Exhale, the hips, the arms, everything sort of getting some little twist motion up and across on a diagonal. Lift. 1 more. Lift. Exhale. And center. And then should we try that on the other side? And don't overthink it too much, right? So we're just finding a diagonal motion. We're breathing and moving the body, right? So we're going to inhale, go up to one corner, and then come across like you're putting on a seatbelt. Inhale. Exhale. And you can shift your weight in your feet, or you could leave your feet planted. Inhale. Maybe it gets a little bigger. Couple more. Swinging across, chop. 1 more time. Inhale. And chop. And then come into center. Just pause. Notice your shoulders. Notice your back. Notice your neck. Feel your feet under the floor. Okay, next we're going to take a nice forward fold and strategically place our rolled blanket or towel into the front of the hip, into the low belly. So you're going to take whatever you've got and sort of place it right in front of the hip, low belly, right in the hip crease, because you'll see, have your feet as wide as you need, bend your knees a little bit, and then you're going to hinge forward and see if you can grab on to this roll up into the hip crease. And if you're feeling tighter, you may need to have the roll bigger, right? So you get to play with this a little bit, and then just release forward. So if you're really rounded in your back when you fold forward and it's hard to grab the blanket in the hip crease, then bend your knees as much as you need to try and bring the ribs closer to the top of the thigh and make the roll bigger. Drop the head. This can feel really, really lovely and delicious on the lower back if you've had tightness or tension in the lower back. This is nice for some digestion, right? Because we're just giving some light pressure to the organs in the front. And creating some space in the front of the hip. So a place, the hip flexors, where a lot of us, if we sit a lot, or if we're runners or cyclists, or we're just feeling tense, right? That place in the front of the hip can get tight, can grab on. So sort of creating some space there as well. Drop the head. Let's take 2 more smooth breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, empty out. The head gets heavier. Nice, luxurious breath. Inhale. Filling up the back, that lower back. And exhale. Soften your knees, heavy your heels. Grab a hold of your towel or blanket and then roll yourself up. And pause. Beautiful. Let's take 1 more forward fold using this blanket as sort of a support, as a nourishment. So I'm going to now place it on the ground in front of me. And again, you can play with how much of a roll you have when you see where we're going. So we're going to have the heels on the floor, and I'm going to put the ball, the foot, and the toes up on the blanket. Right, so my heels are grounded on the floor and my toes are lifted up. If your ankles are more tender, you're going to want to have even the slightest of roll. You're going to unroll it and make it not so thick. Okay, feet are hip width apart or even wider if the backs of the legs feel tight. Inhale, feel steady. So if this doesn't feel steady, make the roll of the blanket less. And then one more time, we're going to fold forward. So I'm going to hinge from the hips, send the hips back. Let your knees bend as much as you need to, right? So less worried about the hamstrings and the legs being straight. Just hinge forward and then drop the head. You can play with sort of leaning on one leg and the other, sort of stamping one ball of the foot down and then the other. If you want to grab an opposite elbow and sort of sway a little bit, you might want to play with sort of bending the knees, hips down, and lifting the hips. Or you might just want to get really still, drop the head, and follow your breath. So we're relaxing, not only stretching the back of the body, we're folding into ourselves, dropping the head, facilitating that nice, long, easy exhale breath. Also getting a nice little stretch in the calf, which is always also a muscle that when we're overworked, we're tired, we're stressed, sometimes works on overdrive, especially if you like to walk or run or cycle. Drop the head. So if you went on a little turkey trot today already for your Thanksgiving, right, this is a nice one for after that, or even before, really. Inhale. Exhale. Fold into yourself. Let the head drop. And then soften your knees. Heavy those heels. Really feel your feet grounded. Press into the balls of the feet and the heels and roll up. Ah, that feels heavenly. Yeah? Let's take this roll, your towel, your blanket. We're going to turn it sideways now. We're going to come down onto the mat. So I'm going to, actually, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to have you put your one side knee and shin sort of on it, just to give ourselves some extra cushioning. And then bring the opposite foot forward. So we're in two 90-degree angles here, but we have some nice cushioning underneath that shin and knee. So let's have left foot forward, right knee on the blanket. And then we're going to slide that left hand onto the inside of the foot, reach the right arm up. If the floor feels too far away here and you have a block, you could raise the floor up with a block. Open the chest to the right. Inhale, feel that nice hip opening, waist turning, waist lengthening. Inhale, chest wide. And then you're going to turn the other way. So now the right hand comes down under the shoulder. Keep pressing the left foot down, the top of the right foot down. Turn to the left. Reach your waist long, open your chest. And then you're going to face forward, bring your left forearm onto your left thigh, come on up. And then take this right arm across your body and side bend to the left. Squeeze your right glute underneath you. Inhale. Exhale. Good. We're going to do this a few times. So left hand slides on the inside of the foot on the block or the floor. Right arm up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Right hand comes down, chest faces the floor. Turn to the left. Rotate the chest open, reach your waist long. Chest towards the floor, left forearm onto left thigh, push down into the forearm. Come up, take the right arm across your body and side bend to the left. Try not to let the hips come behind you. Squeeze the tail up under, and then you'll get a nice hip flexor and lower back stretch. And let's do that one more time. So we'll slide the left hand on the inside, open up to the right. Face the floor, right hand down, turn to the left. Turn your chest down, left forearm onto left thigh, push down to come up, and then squeeze the glute underneath you, come up with the chest, reach that right arm across, lean to the left. And then come up. Should we try that on the other side? Let's. So I'm just going to turn around so I can talk to you. You're going to bring your left knee and shin onto that blanket. Make sure it's not too lumpy, right? And you don't even have to have it underneath. I just like to have it if we're going to stay here for a while. It feels more relaxing for the joints. Right foot forward. Make two 90-degree angles. I'll show it with a block on the inside of the foot, but you don't need it. We're going to slide that right hand on the inside of the foot to the floor or to a block. Opposite arm can reach up. Breathe into the hip. Turn your chest towards the floor. Bring the left hand down underneath you. Turn open to the right. See if you can keep the hips level as you turn. Face the floor. Put the right forearm right onto the top of the right thigh. Push down into the feet and the forearm. Reach the left arm across. Hinge the hips forward. Squeeze your glute and side bend to the right. Almost like you're going to peek underneath your left armpit. And then let's do it again. Left hand to the hip. Slide the right hand down to floor or block on the inside of the foot. Turn open to the ceiling. Face the floor, left hand underneath you, turn open to the right. Stamp the right foot down. Turn your chest down to the floor, right forearm hooks on that right thigh. Push down into the forearm, squeeze the glutes, come up and across, lean to the right. One more time. Slide right hand down, turn to the left. Breathing into the hips, the waist. Left hand down, face the floor, push into the floor, push into the right foot, turn to the right. Keep your waist long. Chest faces the floor, right forearm to right thigh, push down into the forearm and the foot, come up, squeeze the glutes underneath you, line yourself up and side bend to the right. Inhale. Exhale. And then come up. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to come to sit now. So I'm going to take this rolled up towel and blanket, I'm going to put it behind me, and I'm going to sit on it. Lovely. Bottoms of the feet together. And you're just sort of sitting the back of the pelvis on the blanket and letting the front of the pelvis roll down towards the floor. Bottoms of the feet coming together. Line up your heels. Maybe grab onto the ankles. Take a moment, lift up through the waist. Hands could be here, or you could also tent them behind you to help lift up through the waist. Spread your toes. Soften the low belly, soften the groin, the inner leg. And then you're going to just lean over to one side. Let that whole thigh drop down into the floor. Take your opposite hand and way up in the hip crease here. I'm not going to push down on the leg, but I want to think about sliding this skin from the inner leg towards my inner knee. So I'm moving it in that direction, sliding it away. Like I could create some traction in that hip joint here, away from the center of the pelvis. And breathe, hollow out the right side of the belly or the side of the belly of the leg lifted. And then come on up. And let's go to the other side. So you're gonna just fall over to one side so you really make contact with that outer leg. The other hip is going to come up. That's okay. Take the heel of your hand way up in the hip crease where your leg meets your pelvis. Don't push down. push out, right? So gently sliding, tractioning your pants, your skin away from the center. And then you can sort of hollow out your belly, tuck your chin in a little bit. Breathe. Beautiful. Release. Come to center. Good. You're going to take your hand on your outer left knee and just move it over. So it's just coming in the direction of the other leg. And just keep turning to the right. Right fingertips behind. Take your left hand. See if you could hook it on your right kneecap. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, turn to the right. Let the shoulders come out of the ears. Feel that rotation of your ribs moving around the axis of the spine. And then you can keep the twist with the spine an option just to turn your chin back over your front shoulder. So your body's turning to the right and you're turning your chin back towards your left shoulder. Breathe into that. Inhale. Exhale. Come to center. Open up the leg. Let's go to the other side. I'm going to use my hand with my right leg, plop it up and over. Sort of cradling the shin in the opposite bottom of the foot, and then keep turning to the left. Left fingertips behind. Grab onto this opposite kneecap if it's available. Inhale, exhale, turn. Notice where the shoulders are, right? Could you let them drop away from the ears? Inhale, feel length in the spine without strain, and then exhale, rotate. Like your ribs are wrapping around your spine like the curls on a barber pole. And then option to turn the chin in the opposite direction. So the spine is moving and turning to the left. Keep the twist as turn the head right over that front shoulder. And then send some breath into the front of the left chest. Inhale. Exhale. And release. Good. Open that leg out again. Great. From here, use your hands, bring the legs together, send them out in front of you. Let the legs straighten. And I'm still sitting up on that blanket. Spread the toes out a little bit. Have the knees and toes pointing up. Shake, 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 shake. I'm going to take my right leg and I'm going to bend it in, step, and then open it up and just attach the foot into the other inseam of the leg. And it can be anywhere up and down the leg. From here, keep these knees and toes pointing up, right? Not too much work, but enough that there's energy in the leg. And then I'm going to reach away from this bent knee and sort of go up and over to the left. Walk my fingertips out. Drop the head and sort of reach away, stretch and breathe into that right lower back, the right waist. Let your head drop a little bit. Let your chin drop. Hollow out the front belly. Send your breath into your back, your kidneys, sort of this midsection of the body that works really hard when we're digesting, we're processing emotions. And then walk it over to the other side, so sort of the opposite corner, away from the straight leg, more towards that bent knee. Drop the head, tiptoe the fingers out, and sort of find the spot that maybe feels like you want to stay, and send a breath into your back, your waist. And then come on up. Now let's bring this foot in and step it out. Let the knee straighten for a moment. Switch sides. Draw the left foot in. Flop it open. Just bring that foot so it lines up with the inner leg, anywhere up and down at the spine. Opposite the straight leg, knee and toe, just in general, keeping it facing up. So having a little bit of energy in the leg. And then we're going to move over to the right. So I'm going to move across the straight leg, away from the bent leg knee. hollow out the belly a little bit, sort of puff up the back. Reach the hands away any amount, let the head drop a little bit. Send that breath into any tightness across your kidney band here, across the sort of lower back, at the bottom of the ribs in your back. And then coming up and moving in the opposite direction. So I'm going to turn more towards the bent leg knee. And this leg wants to creep away. It's all right, right? Just hug it in a little bit. Move away from it. Again, sort of lightly hollowing out the belly just to create a little bit of a stretch across the back, that kidney band across your lower spine here. Drop the head. Fill up the back body with some breath. So when we're feeling tired, we've had a lot going on, right? We've had a long day. Sometimes sending the breath into that lower back can feel really nourishing. Beautiful. And then come on up. Let's step the foot, step it out, give it a little shake, 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 shake. Good. And then we're going to come down onto our backs, and you have an option. So if you have just this towel or blanket that you're using, right, you can literally just the smallest of rolls lift the hips up. Place the back of the pelvis on it. If you want to lift it higher and put your hips up on a block, if you have one, feel free in a supported bridge. I'm going to use this rolled up blanket today. Let it feel really easy. And then feet on the floor. Arms can be by your side. You could have them on your body. And we'll finish with just some rounds of a little bit of conscious breathing. And if at any time the breath feels overwhelming or causes stress, let it go. Just let your body breathe and lay on the floor. If you want to play with the breath, I encourage you and invite you to start to count your inhales and exhales and see if you can just get the inhale and the exhale count even and make it really easy. So I suggest maybe the count of 3 or count of 4 for the inhale. And whatever you chose for the inhale, make it the same for the exhale. And again, just nice even count, inhale with the exhale. Don't make it such a long count that it starts to feel like a lot of work. Right? Let it feel really luxurious and accessible. Filling up on the inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever your count is. And then exhaling the same tempo, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if that's feeling really nice and feeling easy, you can just stay with that even inhale, even exhale. We're also offering just allowing that exhale breath just to go 1 count longer, maybe 2 counts longer than the inhale. If you're counting an inhale breath, the count of 4, and maybe your exhale is going to go to a 5, maybe a 6, but don't work too hard. Maybe trying a few more rounds of either that even inhale, exhale, or the longer exhalation. You drop your body. Using that breath as just like a gentle reset. Coming back to ourselves. And knowing you can tip into your breath at any moment, at any time. If you're still playing with that pattern of breath, go ahead and let it go. Just let your body breathe itself. If your hips are really elevated up on a block, then maybe bring them down. Or even if you have just a small blanket under the hips, with your head staying down, lift the hips, take it out, bring your pelvis to the floor. We'll roll over onto one side. Come on up, find a seat. Maybe have a moment of gratitude for the time you just took for yourself, for that reconnection into your body, to your breath, to the earth. Thank you for practicing with me. Have a great day.